We got one more speaker before we take our break. This is going to be Joaquin Esquivel from California. Joaquin was appointed to the California Water State Resources Control Board by previous Governor Brown in 2017. Then the current Governor Newsom appointed him chair of the board in 2019. Before that, he was part of the Assistant Secretary for Water Policy at the California Natural Resources Agency, so he's worked at that level, facilitating governor's policies and priorities between the agencies and the congressional delegation and federal stakeholders. He knows how complex dealing with the Bay Delta, and in our case, Chesapeake Bay is, and so Joaquin.
Thank you, Bill, and good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be able to join you all here and follow up the leadership here in Maryland, which it is incredibly clear how much parallel we have. Whenever we pull together our Secretary of Natural Resources, of Environmental Protection, and of Agriculture, it's a powerful combination because it really does take leadership and thought across those agencies, and of course, importantly, with communities and academia and all of our partners to get anything done. I want to acknowledge my partners here are in crime from California, the Department of Water Resources, Dr. Conrad, and also from our Delta Stewardship Council as well. And I actually had the pleasure of spending about a decade in DC. So to kind of strengthen this California, Maryland cross connection here, I know and have been able to recreate on the Chesapeake and know Maryland to be an incredible community with a lot of leadership spanning here well over 50 years on issues that, as we know, are just as important in California and where there's parallel leadership as well. The State Water Resources Control Board, as a quick gloss, regulates water quality along with our 9 regional water quality control boards. So that's Clean Water Act jurisdiction, but also Porter Cologne, which is our state law that created the state board and brought together quantity and quality into one discussion. We also regulate agriculture, so direct discharges of nitrate, and here have drinking water programs that are addressing some of the legacy issues that we have in our nation as well. Additionally, the State Water Board administers water rights, and about almost a decade ago, the Division of Drinking Water came over from our Department of Public Health. So as an agency on the regulatory side, when we talk about connecting the drops in our watersheds and really trying to make the best data-driven decisions amongst it, I feel that I'm very fortunate to be part of an agency that I think has an opportunity to do better, to try to innovate across these issues, and especially when we talk about how we see our regulatory programs, given that you look at the Clean Water Act, you look at the attacks on the Clean Water Act, you look at the need to continue to rededicate ourselves to what our generational challenges around water quality, and the need to try to innovate, the need to bring the best and brightest minds into our discussions just continues to be a front of mind. I sometimes, and others as well, will quip that we have 19th century laws governing 20th century infrastructure with 21st century challenges. And truly, what we have is a lot of reconciling to do for sometimes decision making, and especially when we look at our watersheds, say in California, that wasn't as informed about a climate that we all now have here before us. So I think the challenges we have are these legacy issues that we have, certainly around, say, nutrient and other pollutions, but in a warming climate, all of that is accelerated. So to your point, and to the need of the collaboration and the work that's going to be going on here and continues to go on nationally, internationally, we need to accelerate this work. We need to take that climate anxiety that I know so many of our communities face and feel, so many of us I know in this room, as we're making difficult decisions in sometimes imperfect circumstances, to drive toward action, to have an outlet for what is otherwise that anxiety. I think what we truly do have is an opportunity to lend and lean on AI, machine learning, and data systems to do what they do best, so that humans are freed up to do what we can do best. The reality is so many of us in our work are not over-resourced. So being able to take advantage of advances in just simple data systems sometimes, let alone AI or machine learning, is really critical. And to be candid, in the water sector, we're a little slow to uptake it. But I think that we have an incredible opportunity to do so. And I know within our own staff, we have examples of just homegrown machine learning use that's kind of happened, because so many of the folks that are coming into the workforce with the silver tsunami we know that's happening, the number of retirements, we have folks that have been in the university system, taken a few computer science classes perhaps, and come into our state agencies and found that maybe the tools that we're using aren't as up to date, but have examples, say on PFAS, where a regional water quality control board staff member, she took the analytes. We don't have, as we all know, a perfect picture of the amount of PFAS pollution in our watersheds. Sometimes we have data on other analytes, other constituents, maybe nitrates, maybe some other element that may be out there. And what she was able to do, just in her time, her spare time, was to do some machine learning to be able to see, well, let's create a heat map. Where might you see correlations between PFAS and other analytes? And even though you don't have data for PFAS, begin to use an investigatory tool that now is being used by our staff. And that wasn't a program. That wasn't explicit funding. That was just the basic innovation, if you will, that staff and here our employees are bringing to the work. So I just want to note that workforce development across this discussion is going to be so critical, because that's how we're going to be able to actually begin to not just use these tools and not just gather data, but really begin to have information come out of those exercises and that work. So just thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to join here, and look forward to what's going to be a great 2 days of continued discussion. Thank you.